My name is Jack. It's really not my name, but you can refer to me as Jack right now. I have a unique story, no different than any other person in this world. I drank and abused alcohol and drugs for the better part of 20 years, solid, continual, and kind of ruined my life, but it kind of led me to where I needed to be. My dad passed away when I was about almost 5. It was difficult growing up without him. Obviously, there's feels like a missing piece. I first had my biggest issue with alcohol when I was 9. Got in a little trouble with my brother and neighbors. And my brother was 3 years older than me. The neighbors were in around his age and a little bit older. And they jumped in a window of somebody else's house, of the neighbor's house. And it turns out they took a couple dirty magazines. I was like the lookout. And obviously they fell apart real quick with everything a little bit later that evening. And I sang like a canary. My mom was devastated. She didn't know how to handle the situation, so to speak. She ended up calling my uncle. He had a drinking problem, and that's what he did. His solution was came over to my mom's house and dropped out a 6-pack and said, "You guys are men. Start drinking. This is what men do." This is his exact words. My brother chose not to drink. I did. I sipped a little bit at a time, and it was by intimidation. For my own progression, didn't realize how quick it went, and I was gauging my alcohol and drug use, based on what I'm seeing with other people. And you don't realize how bad you are or where it's going and where it takes you. I put myself in places that I felt I could do what I wanted to do. The expression of what everyone else thought of where I should be and where I thought I was were two different worlds. I found myself with people drinking more and doing drugs more. And none of the people were bad, just bad things happen. Over a progression of years, 5 DUIs, that's not a normal thing for everyday people. The first one, 22, 23, out of state. It was kind of funny because we were at a sporting event, and it probably saved our life because I was ready to get on the highway, and somebody cut us off in the parking lot, and he was a mess, and he threw a pebble rock and hit the car in front of us, and the cop came. We were pulled up on to get out. They said something to the police, and the police came back, state trooper, and saw me and pulled me through the window and then opened the door, and I kind of fell. Didn't have a chance, but I didn't have a chance driving that day either. And spent about 6 hours in a holding cell, and I didn't get in the trouble I could have. I was kind of let out through the back door is what I was told, and it sort of gave me a false sense of security. The last 2 DUIs came within 4 days of each other. The chips were against the wall. They just changed the laws. It was 5 years in prison, and I fit the bill on that, and took me to 2 suicide attempts, and that was the darkest time of my life. That was the darkest time. Unfortunately, I was pissed off that I didn't die after my attempt, and I ended up getting yet another DUI on top of that. Yeah, it ruined. I watched myself fall away from my own family. After I was sentenced, I had to report here for it said to be 5 years, but it turned out to be 2.5, because I did what I had to do. I didn't get in trouble. I learned a new way to live. It was every month for the first year, and then every other month for the next 2. They gave me house arrest instead of prison, and a very strict routine of earning my own privileges back. But the guy who's, I appreciate him, we can't go talk to him or anything right now, is the judge. He opened my eyes. He kept asking me, what's next? He asked everybody, but I know he was talking to me. And it was just thinking about what was next, what was going to happen, what did I want to do, how did I want to change. Being court ordered to do that helped, because I went a long time after I was done with court. I didn't need to change what wasn't working. It was working. What I had to do was look at myself, forgive myself, and then work on changing myself. And yeah, the next thing after that, after I got through the changes that I had to make, so to speak, I got as far away from the people I worked with as I possibly could. My life changed after 5 years sober, and literally making changes of people, places, and things. I was in a completely different environment, and I ended up working in a Suboxone clinic, working with some people that had some issues with heroin and opiate addiction, which in my opinion, wow, something put me in a place I needed to be to do what I needed to do. And I ended up meeting a very high level gang member, and I saw how much he and I were the same. Different paths, different places, but literally directed to that point in time. My influences with him led him to a direction in his life to make a change of his own. And we learned along the way how much we were the same, and in many, many ways. I had a problem. The moment I said I had a problem is the moment the answers came by. It was not easy, but yeah, I denied my own self of who I was, and it was horrible. And life changed after I admitted what I was and what I had and what the problem I had. And people call it a disease, but I have a curable disease if I don't do something. Where other people have diseases where there are no cures. It's crazy how things happen and where we're led to be. But I'm blessed for my problems to see life in a different way.